Good evening, friends. I'm Dr. Manish Patel, plastic and cosmetic surgeon. The first thing which I want to pass the message is that wear a face mask, use a sterilizer, and keep social distancing. That is the first thing which you have to do for another 6 months in a pandemic times. And welcome to the today's Facebook Live program organized by the Victor Hospital. I am here practicing since last 13 years and being the first center for pioneering the medical tourism. I am attached to this hospital since then. This is a hospital which is NABH accredited, has got very dedicated operation theatres and all modern gadgets like HEPA filters, dedicated staff, trained staff are with this hospital. So we are going to talk about the cosmetic surgery, what all you want to know. Before that, I just want to make one thing to note down by you, all of you, that after listening to my talk, you have got any question regarding cosmetic surgery, plastic surgery, please type on a question answer or comments column, and then I should try to answer all your questions. Now coming to the today's topic, and that is cosmetic surgery, what all you want to know. Now this question is sometimes comes into your mind, can someone fix my nose? Even it comes to me also. So one is that. Second is, sometimes this thing comes up, how can I get rid of this? Sometimes you pull your face back and you feel that, oh, it has gone down so low. If somebody can pull it up, this thing, it makes a lot of sense. And you're right. Young guys having a breast like a female, which is a condition which is known as a gynecomastia, and a common generalized obesity, a big paunch, also among the women. Young girls suffering from the acne and excessive hairs on the chin or facing the PCOD problems. Another burning problem, hair loss. It's a very frequently asked problems with the people. And definitely, you always think it that why shouldn't I have a clear and a fair skin, glowing skin, fuller cheek, and why should you have wrinkles on your face? So if you say yes, or if you think that I am asking you, you also think the same way, then please, you should hear this presentation very focused, because today I am going to answer all these questions. Plastic surgery is basically derived from a Greek word called plastikos, which means to be molded. So there is no relation with the plastic, as lot of times jokes comes to us, but plastic surgery means we mold the tissue to take a new shape. That's why it is called as a plastic surgery. And we Indians should be proud to be associated with the plastic surgery, because the father of the plastic surgery is called as Mr. Sushruta, who used to be in 600 BC, used to reconstruct by an arm flap, which is still used by the modern science to reconstruct the nose. Because that time, for any sin, they used to cut the nose. So this man used to reconstruct the nose by this median arm flap, which is still used by these things. While we have got cosmetic surgery, any procedure, any surgical procedure which improves the look of a person is called as cosmetic surgery. Now, I don't have to tell you that why looking good is so important, but yes, it improves your confidence. Attractive personality creates prompt attention, very true. Point of view is heard, and you get a social status luxuries to certain extent. Of course, your intelligence also counts. Now, methods of grooming up like genetics, balanced nutritious diet, regular exercise, hair care, yoga, mental fitness, reading books, hobbies, and finally a positive attitude. Yes, it makes a lot of difference into your attitude. If you are dull, if you are not feeling happy, you're this low, your face says about it. But if you're happy, vibrant, your face says about it. So that is one thing which I must say. If you're positive, your skin glows. Now, coming to the next point, and what are the people most opted cosmetic surgery, especially among the females, the breast augmentation, liposuction, nose reshaping which is called as a rhinoplasty, eyelid surgery which is called as a blepharoplasty, tummy tuck or abdominoplasty in another word, and facelift surgery. These are the surgery which is mostly asked by the females, not only internationally but nationally also. While for males, we usually again rhinoplasty, blepharoplasty, facelift, and in Indian scenario, the hair transplant is the most asked surgery by the men. So let's talk something about some basic of the cosmetic surgery. Today I am not going to reveal any technical terms, or I'm just answering talking on a very gross platform. But before considering any cosmetic surgery, and I think this slide proves to be for any surgery, irrespective of the cosmetic surgery, you should see the board certification of the surgeon, whether he is qualified for that particular thing which you are asking for. So for a plastic surgery, it should be a MS General Surgery and MCH Plastic Surgery. Then when you meet your surgeon, go for a very detailed discussion that what exact means, like what you are looking for, what is your expectations, and ask the surgeon what he can deliver it to you. This is the most important thing. The problem arises, you come with certain expectations and I give you something result which doesn't fit to your expectation, and that leads to the problem. So discuss very detailed what you're looking for, and your result should be realistic, means your expectation should be realistic. Otherwise, sometimes I come across a lot of patients who says change my face or change completely the body structure of mine, which is practically impossible. So patient with the realistic expectations are going to be the happy people. Secondly, where I am going to operate and its credentials. This is the most important thing. Now, a hospital, neat and clean atmosphere, and if it is NABH accredited like Victor Hospitals, the dedicated staff makes a lot of difference into the outcome of the patients. Then complications. You should also ask in your consultation to the surgeon about what are the possible things can go wrong and how to rectify it. That is a very important thing you should ask in your consultation. Then finance. And most of the time what I come across, the rift happens between hospital, doctor and patient is because the finances are not clear. So get everything clear from the hospital, from the surgeon, how much it is going to cost, what are the things and what included into the package or non-package. So it gives you a rough idea. Of course, there will be up and down, plus and minus, but if you are aware about a rough estimate, it makes a lot of difference and your journey to the hospital a happy one. Reviews, and that too, reviews about the hospital, review about the surgeon. Nowadays, whenever you purchase anything, you go for a reviews. Why not you review a doctor? Yes, you should. You can take a second opinion also to confirm it. So you have to be, and once you are done with the surgeon's credentials, then believe on him. For this, ask him what are the follow-up advices that makes. So this is what I said general consideration. It is not true only for a cosmetic surgery, for any surgical procedures, and that leads to a happy relationship. That is what is required. Now the first thing which is very commonly asked is liposuction. Now liposuction basically is a body contouring procedure in which we take out the fat from the unwanted area of the body, and in most of the time it is the paunch area, it is the buttocks, it is the thighs, it is the heavy arms, and those areas which usually people ask for. Now what exactly liposuction is? So we mark out those areas from a person where the person doesn't want fat to be there. We mark out that area in a standing position, and then we, through a very small hole, we enter into that area with a cannula. We put certain fluid and certain substances which help in liquefying the fat over there. And then with a little bit, as you can see on a picture, that we put another little bit 2 or 4 millimeter cannula, and we suck out the fat from that area. So the cannula is attached to a rubber tubing to a suction pump, and we suck out by to or fro motion, the fat comes out. Now, one thing of caution which I want to mention about the liposuction, that there is a safe limit. Sometimes people who are BMI, now you must be aware about the BMI, that BMI is a proportion of the body fat or this weight relation to the height. So if your in a BMI is around 25-30, you are a fit person. If it is more than 35, then we call it the obesity 1, 2, 3 grade. So if you're this liposuction procedure is good for people between a BMI of 25 to 35. They are fit people, and we can do a liposuction and suck out the fat from the unwanted area. So this is a picture which shows that from most of the time it is the paunch area which is concerns to the people, love handles and the buttocks. Afterwards, we suggest them to wear the pressure garments, and if it is a 3 or 4 areas are covered, usually admission required for 1 day. Another operation which is very commonly asked is abdominoplasty or a tummy tuck, in which, because most of the females after pregnancy loses the firmness of the abdominal wall, it becomes lax, it becomes patulous, it becomes pendulous, and that tire with the obesity, it hangs down, and they find difficulty to wear western outfit as well as the Indian saris. So in that case, we make a cut underneath the bikini line and pull down the whole apron down and cut it and resuture it. So that whole pendulous abdomen, which is not looking good on a western outfit or Indian traditional saris, becomes flat cut. But again, definitely all these things require detailed consultation and explanation by the plastic surgeon. Another surgery which is asked is very commonly by the women is breast aesthetic surgery, and out of which the first is breast augmentation. If your breast has lost firmness, they are small in size, or they are not attractive, making your personality unattractive, that this is a common thing which is asked by all females. And most of the time there are 2 techniques of doing a breast augmentation. One is we do with the silicone implants, and there was a common myth amongst the people that silicone implants causes the cancer. So there was a detailed investigation has been done by the US federal organizations, and they come out that silicone implants are safe and they do not produce any cancer. The another thing, sometimes some people doesn't want any foreign body to come inside their body. So in that case, we do the fat transfer. So we take out the fat from the area where it is more and put it into the breast area to augment it. That is called as a fat transfer to the breast or a breast augmentation. Another condition which female usually ask is breast reduction. Sometimes breasts are so heavy that it becomes a social embarrassment for a woman. They cannot do exercises, and a social embarrassment makes them very depressed. So there are certain procedures through which we can not only lift the breast tissue as well as we can reduce. Because sometimes women also comes to me not for aesthetic procedure, but they are so heavy that it causes neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, and they cannot do their regular duties. So this is a surgical procedure, lasts for 4 hours, and they can be definitely back to their normal stature within a period of 2 to 4 weeks. And again, some similar operation is we call it a breast tightening or a breast lift. Again, an operation which is combined of a reduction and we lift up the breast to where they were before all this. In a breast augmentation, there are certain things, you must have heard of all these things, that sometimes you put it underneath the muscle, sometimes you put underneath the gland, but definitely you need to come to a plastic surgeon. And one thing which I want to tell is that with the breast augmentation and also with certain techniques of the breast reduction, you can breastfeed your kids. So it is not a taboo that if you are young, you cannot go for this thing, because we put it underneath the gland, so we don't touch breast tissue at all, so you can feed to your newborns. So this is an example that here it is in the right side, you can see the implant was put just below the gland, and you can see in another it is below the muscle, but we have not touched anywhere to the breast tissue. Another operation which is mostly asked is rhinoplasty. We call it a nose reshaping. And again, in the same thing, European people have, Caucasian people have got a very projected nose. They are very projectile nose. They want a reduction. While the Indian noses are very flat, saddle nose, and they want augmentation. So you understand there is an ethnicity difference between the two treatment. If it is a British nose, it has to be reduced, while the Indian nose has to be augmented. Now for augmentation like a breast, we also use some silicone material. Sometimes we use our own tissue like our rib cartilage or a bone or this thing, silicone implants. And one thing which is I want to stress at this time, in a rhinoplasty, we also get a complete detailed analysis of your nasal airway, because sometimes your septum is deviated. Nasal septum is a thing which is in between the two nasal halves, and sometimes if it is deviated, you come across breathing problems. So the nasal septum has to be corrected. So we sometimes take the help of the ENT surgeon colleagues of us to improve the septum corrections. Now this is a graphic example in which the person has got an hump, and we have done rasping, and then you can see that hump is removed. Now in rhinoplasty there are two types of things. People ask it whether they will have any marks on the nose after the surgery. No, there are two types of surgeries. One is internal rhinoplasty and one is external rhinoplasty. In internal rhinoplasty, we make all incision inside, so nothing is visible on the nose. While in external rhinoplasty, we make at the base of the nose some incision, and then we reflect the whole nose skin and to operate and make changes. So even in external, there is a very small scar, but which comes at the base of this nose. As mentioned in this picture also, that sometimes we put silicone implant, rib cartilage, or something. Nowadays, for a short time, people are also putting some fillers, but that lasts for 1 year. So again, all these things you have to get it clear by your plastic surgeon. Another operation, as I mentioned, this particular operation is mostly asked by the European and British people because they have got type 1, type 2, type 3 skin, and they sag a lot, they wrinkle a lot. So to lift up this particular thing, we use this operation in which we make a cut from here to here and lift up the whole skin and underneath layer of SMAS and pull it back where they were before. So that's the operation which is called as a facelift. Now there is sometimes we do also with the help of fillers, threads, the non-surgical way, and we have got now some ultrasound guided machines to lift up, which is called as a non-surgical facelift, and that definitely improves your facial appearance by more than 5 to 10 years. As I mentioned to you, most commonly asked surgery nowadays is hair transplant. Now, one word of caution to all people watching this program, I must tell you that, as I mentioned also, there are a lot of advertisements comes of hair transplant at a cheaper price, but always see to it the center which you are going for a hair transplant should be a qualified surgeon. Then they should have a dedicated team who does the hair transplant. I heard that even you must have noted that one person died in a salon. They were doing the hair transplant in salon. So it is a surgical procedure. It has to take care of all precautions like a surgery. The anesthetist has to be standby. There has to be pulse oximeter. There has to be complete operation theater. There has to be a team up if anything goes wrong. And definitely, as I said, how many hair follicles you require, what are the techniques. There are two techniques used by, one is follicular unit transfer, another is follicular unit extraction. These all techniques are used, how good your surgeon is, how advanced trained he is, and there are certain instruments which has come up like keeping a graft at a cooler temperature. Does that person, all these things makes a lot of difference. So sometimes I get a call on a phone, doctor, how much the hair transplant cost? And then I say, come for a consultation. Most of the time they don't come, but I am happy if they don't come, because operation cannot be discussed on a phone. At the same time, I am happy that people use Google. It's good. For any procedure, I say if a surgeon comes after Googling a procedure, I am more than happy, because he is on the same platform as I am. It becomes very easy for me to explain him, because he have understood, he has read about it, I am explaining it, both concise, then it works. But at the same time, I am a bit afraid of the people who go so much in detail that they try to teach me. That's the problem. Not for me, for any doctors. So you have to Google, be on the same page, but don't go into the technical issue. Then you ask your surgeon. It will make a lot of difference into your consultation. Another condition which I call it as a gynecomastia, and this is really I want to say about this particular thing, that youngsters having a breast like a female. And once that particular thing come into the mind of that kid or young adult, it affects his confidence. And parents don't take it in a very positive way, and they sometimes say casually, hey, it doesn't make any difference, you are okay. But I come across, even doctors then have come to me and they were saying that he makes unnecessary complaint about this thing. But just when I evaluation and analysis, I found it has affected their confidence. So this thing has to be tackled in a very properly by people. At the same time, I just want to put a little bit of a stress on non-invasive cosmetic surgery. That is, we call it as a Botox, which is used for so many conditions. But most common condition is if you got a lot of wrinkles coming on your forehead, on a frown lines or a crow's feet, we give Botox. Now Botox, there is a lot of common myths among the Botox that it's a poison or basically Botox does only one thing, that it stops the action of the brain stimulus to the muscles. And all these lines which are formed as a wrinkle is basically because of the pull of the muscle onto the skin. The moment it paralyzes, there is no pull of the muscle, so these lines doesn't come. The Botox effect lasts for 4 to 6 months, and again you will back to the normal. People ask me also sometimes that if we take Botox, do we dependent on it? No, if you are happy and if you do not want to be continue further, you cannot take it. But most of the time I say, when people say there are no wrinkles on the face, they every time come for a Botox treatment and happy. We also use the Botox for sometimes the blinking of eyes. We sometimes use it for a wry neck, and certain neuromuscular coordination if Botox is used. At the same time, another condition which lot of people are aware about it is the facial fillers. Now fillers are basically hyaluronic acid which is present in your face, and as we age down, this quantity of the hyaluronic acid goes down, so we replenish it. Now we put it, you must have seen Priyanka Chopra, Angelina Jolie, those who have made this particular procedure very popular, lip augmentation. So we put it over lip to augment it. We put it underneath the eyes to take care of your teardrop. We put it over here to lift up this zygomatic area to give a non-surgical facelift appearance, and along the chin lines. Sometimes we give it to increase the distance. Now I'm sure my team must be noticing the questions, so we'll definitely take up. Now another thing which I must say, which is coming up very vigorously into the cosmetic surgery, is the various type of lasers which we use it for cosmetic surgery. Now there are a lot of lasers like a Hydra Jet to clean up your face, diode for removing the unnecessary hairs on your face, and this is the gold standard. My suggestion, don't feel that pain of waxing, threading, bleaching. Hair removal, that is a permanent hair reduction, is a permanent solution, and that is the best thing. You unnecessarily traumatize yourself, unnecessarily put a lot of scar on your face for all these things. Another thing is Q-switch lasers used for a tattoo removal, then fractional CO2 for the treatment of acne scarring, and intense pulse light for some sun damaged skin is used this thing. So that is, I have mentioned that lasers are used for this thing. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. And now I think we are loaded with the questions. And this question comes from Mrs. Neelam Mahadik. And she has asked, what type of mini facelift can be done to raise cheekbones? And what is the recovery time? Very interesting question. Neelamji, the thing is, first of all, get a proper evaluation done, because now when you say mini facelift, these are all misnomers: mini, major, mid facelift. First of all, we have to assess what has been drooped. If it is only the mid part of the face, it must be in the age of 40, 45. But if you are aged more than 60, 60 plus, then your face along with the neck sat down, and then it needs a complete facelift. So one is this thing. Secondly, recovery time. Any facelift surgery lasts for 3 to 4 hours. You have to be there in a hospital for 1 day or 2 days, and definitely there will be mild bruising, ecchymosis, which usually get down in 7 to 10 days. So recovery time means you are back to your normal life in 7 or 10 days. That is what my answer is. The another question which has come up is Hortensia Fernandez, and she has asked, what is involved in mummy makeover? After how long it can be done after childbirth? Very interesting question. Now, mummy makeover is just basically two things. As because of pregnancy, as I mentioned, there is a pendulous abdomen and breast loses its firmness. So the main attractive, the figure of the female usually goes haywire, and she wants to correct it. That's why this procedure of doing a breast tightening, breast lifting, or augmenting the breast along with the abdominoplasty is called as mummy makeover, to make her from the age of 40 to bring her back to the 25. And so we combine both breast surgery as well as the tummy tuck in this thing. And after how long it can be done? After once you have complete your family history, this thing, you can get it done anytime afterwards. So this is, I think, I'm able to answer your questions. The next question is from Mrs. Priya Naik, and she wants to know what types of liposuctions are available. Does liposuction remove fat permanently? First of all, liposuction, we call it as a manual liposuction, which is normal, which I believe. Then there is another liposuction which is called as a Vaser liposuction. There is another laser which is called as a laser lipolysis, and there are a lot of three-dimensional, 3D, 4D liposuction. These are all purely marketing gimmicks. I firmly believe in this thing. What I believe, that manually, the man behind the machine is the most important person. When I do a manually liposuction, I know how much fat. I've done a pinch test. I know how much the fat was there, how much fat I have to remove it. And when I see on my bottle that I have much removed this thing, I see the pinch, difference in the pinch, that makes a lot of difference. Yes, certain times this Vaser liposuction makes a lot of difference, because the ultrasound tip also works in tightening of the skin. So I use sometimes Vaser and laser also to tighten the skin. Now, this is the important question which I would really love to answer. Does liposuction remove fat permanently? There is nothing permanent in the life, right? So, but what happens? There are, suppose, 1 lakh cells in the abdomen area, and with the liposuction, I have removed 50,000. Remaining are 50,000. So we have taken 50,000 fat cells outside. Now, if you take care of your diet, if you take care of your exercise, and if you live with a very moderation in the life, definitely you will not deposit fat anywhere. Why about only that area? Nowhere else. And that leads to this answer this question, that if you take care of basic exercises, diet, the fat will not come to. But if you don't take, not only fat coming to that area where I've done the liposuction, it comes all over the places where you got it. So that is what my answer. The next question is, Does a person's voice change after nose surgery? And asked by Mr. Rajesh Kumar. No, because nose surgery has nothing to do with the vocal cord. So yes, but only the thing, if septum was deviated to certain extent, because now the outflow from the nose is also plays a little bit role into the person's voice. It may or it may not. I think ENT surgeon will be the best person to answer these questions, because deviated nasal septum usually I get it corrected by my ENT colleagues. So, but chances of voice changes after nose surgery, I have never heard of it. No. And this is Pallavi Desai has asked, what is the right age to get Botox injection for my face? See, any times, as I said, wrinkles starts appearing at the age of 24, 28, 30 onwards. In Indian scenario, we have got a little bit thicker skin, so wrinkles doesn't appear. But in European and Caucasian who have got type 1, 2, 3 skin, the wrinkles come much faster. So they are the right candidate, and they ask, sometimes very young girls comes to me and ask for Botox, and I say, where should I inject? I'm not seeing any wrinkles. So usually after 35, 40s, when the wrinkle starts appearing, that is the right age for a Botox. Caucasian, I may say, because they are too much conscious, and sometimes some females doesn't want, they say to me, make it plastic face, absolutely expressionless face. They do not want to see any expression on the forehead or this thing. That time we sometimes use this in an early age Botox, but like this way. And this is a question asked by Nandana Kakode. How long does Botox injection last? Botox injection usually lasts for 4 to 6 months, and then you have to get it repeated after 4 to 6 months. And I think this is the last question, and asked by again Artenika Fernandez. Can Botox injection have any side effect or can cause cancer? First of all, it doesn't cause cancer because it's a toxin, it's a paralyzing agent, so it doesn't cause cancer. And can Botox injections have any side effects? Side effects means basically Botox is used to take care of your wrinkles. But if somebody has not injected at the proper places, like if some, we call it the danger zone, which is just one breath above the eyebrow in the lateral part. We don't inject Botox because here the depressors are there and elevators are there, and if we inject it, that elevator muscles are paralyzed and then you get a droop of eyelid droop, that is a toes. So we don't give. But if someone gives over here, then eyelid may droop, or sometimes we call it a spoke deformity, in which if it is given at an angle more, then it lifts up. So that is called a famous character of a Star Trek spoke, so that you get eyelids elevated like a spoke. So that can happen. Otherwise, sometimes yes, and if somebody while injecting hit vessel, then you may develop some bruises which usually get cleared in 7 to 10 days. So that is all what I can say about the side effects of a Botox. Otherwise, I don't find any needs. So with this, I think we are done with the question answer. So I thank all the viewers online for patient hearing, and I thank Victor Hospital for giving me this wonderful opportunity to talk to you people, and I hope I have answered all your questions. But still, as if you got any questions, you can definitely call to the Victor Hospital helpline, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much.